Hello there everybody, welcome back for some more Crash Bandicoot 100%, the retread or re-let's play, whatever you guys feel like calling it. And now we have our first boss fight, which is going to be Ripper Roo, and as you can tell, the first part of this fight is basically just going to be him running around in this one particular area, and basically you have to sort of predict his pattern of where he's going to jump towards. So, like I said before, you know, this is not really much of a, it's not much of a informative guide, I guess. More so, less of just, let's get this going, let's get this done kind of deal. Thing is, the TNT boxes do seem to take a while to actually, well, you know, explode. So you kind of have to almost sort of predict just a tad bit of where he's going to land towards. I about got hit there. That would not have been good. That should probably end up killing him. Nope, guess not. Okay. Well, you know, I'm trying to get this down, but I haven't done this for a long time. Oh, motherfucker. So it's this fight always tends to get me, you know, pretty well because I always have a hard time with the timing, and that's mostly what it is. Like with Papu Papu, you wait for him to get done, you know, getting hit, and you just wait for him to start swinging around to jump on his head. Trying, you know, jump from the back. I recommend jumping from the back. As with Ripper Roo, it's like you kind of have to time it a little bit better, and that I'm not really exactly good at. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this level actually, I think we have to 100% this in one run. Because this is the Lost City, and if you guys don't know anything about the Lost City or Sunset Vista, or if you haven't really watched, you know, my actual first time playing Crash Bandicoot on this channel, you probably don't know by now, but I hate these levels, just with a passion. Something about them, they just really piss me off, and I think it's mostly because of the way that the 100% works in this one particularly, because they got a lot of hidden boxes that kind of just really get in my way. Well, I mean, well, technically they're out of the way. Like there's one up there, right there, an exclamation mark. I mean, after all, I am doing this 100%, so I should probably, you know, give you guys an idea of where and, you know, what everything is. So the embryo tokens, like I talked about last time, the last episode, I'm still not 100% sure on this, but I do know for a fact. This I'm 100% sure on. I do know that there are some areas that you can go to where you can get boxes, but there's no reason to get the boxes. Oh, by the way, these lizards are going to be a pain in my ass. I'm sure of it. I'm more than likely sure of it. I'm going to try to play this level as safe as possible because typically I end up getting killed off rather early, and I hate that. And these goddamn, like, these blocks, those pushing blocks. Oh, and these, yes, even worse than those. I mean, seriously, because, like, again, it's with the timing. And that's mostly what Crash Bandicoot kind of comes down to. It kind of boils down to, like, mostly just timing. Like I said, just reactions and stuff. So I was looking on Facebook today, and I saw this weird post. Like, it's like a video. No, it was a video of, I guess, what's coming in 2017 for PlayStation. And I saw Parappa the Rappa. So I'm thinking, like, either they're going to remaster it, or they're just going to bring it back on PlayStation Store. Because here's what I don't get. I think you can get Parappa the Rappa 2. Or Parappa the Rapper. I always say Rappa. It's just a horrible rhyming thing I have. And yes, if you're wondering, I used to play Parappa the Rapper back when I was a child, but never had the opportunity to get a hand of it again. I remember having a hard... Because you know when, like, you're a kid, and you're like, you know, I remember that, you know, and all of a sudden... You finally get to see it, you know, and you're like, oh, that's what that was. That was that game, you know. And it's like, for years you kind of just forget about it, you know. Well, not even forget about it, but you don't know the name for it for like a long time. And this embryo area, this is what I was talking about earlier. This might be the one that's gonna definitely probably end me. Like I don't know for sure if you have to technically beat these to get the boxes, or maybe it's the ones for Cortex that you don't have to get the boxes in. It might be them. I don't know. It's what confuses me right now. Like I have no idea. Well, anyway, back on Parappa, I guess it would be cool to see a remaster. I mean, after all, we are getting like an HD remaster of Parappa the Rapper. That'd be pretty cool, but I don't really see a need for it. But it'd be nice to have. If anything, let's get, you know, them on Virtual Console for fuck's sake. Or get them on PlayStation Store, you know? Just the original ones. That's what I want, like with Crash Bandicoot 1 and Spyro and all them. Thing is, Uncammy Jammy, which I think was like a sort of spin-off. I believe it is a spin-off of Parappa the Rapper. Parappa the Rapper, damn it, I always say that wrong. Where basically, instead of playing as Parappa, you know, you play as Uncammy, or Unjammy Cammy, or whatever the fuck the game was called. I never played it before, but from what I understand, I think it's the same way as Parappa that works. If you don't know what Parappa is, it's basically a rapping kind of rhythm game. Sort of. Like, it came around before, like, you know, Guitar Hero and all that, so rhythm games back then weren't really much of a big thing as they are pretty much now. I mean, even now, like, they aren't really that big anymore, considering the fact that, you know, Guitar Hero is kind of pretty much dead, and then there's, you know, Rock Band and all that great stuff, and hell, for some strange reason, there was freaking Lego Rock Band, which I don't get why there was, but there just was. That's what confused me. Like, they can make Lego games out of practically everything. Now, I don't want to, again, don't take this as fact, but just in case, I recommend you try to get the embryo tokens. I recommend you try to get all of them, all the boxes in the embryo section. Even though they seem a little bit ridiculous and a little bit hard to do, I recommend doing it. If anything, just watch how I did it, because if you noticed, I did kind of time my spins to where I'd hit the I hit certain boxes. That way, it kind of saves me the time. From basically what that does is that allows me to chip off some time on the TNT box before I get, you know, killed, pretty much. Now, another thing I need to start doing and doing better at, I guess, is timing. This one I can time pretty well. It's just this one's a pretty easy jump right there, and it breaks the boxes for you. And I'm not gonna go grab the Ripper Roo because I don't want to. I basically don't want to risk another death. And anytime I'm going for like 100% run on Crash, it's like anything that's on the off center, you know, like anything that's like just basically out there, like Ripper Roo or anything, I will probably end up leaving that alone because, well, I don't need the lives. We can go get lives later, and I know a good place to get them too if you want them. But it's like I'm not gonna worry about stuff outside of the level. Well, not outside the level. You know what I'm talking about. Not outside the main path, I should say. Because that stuff can get me killed. And if it can get me killed, I'm not going to do it. I'm trying to remember exactly which one it was. It wasn't Rolling Stones, was it? I think it was Jungle... Yeah, I think it's Jungle Rollers that has the green gem. And it's crazy because I remember seeing this game. I was wanting... Like, I saw it in PlayStation Store on the PSP for the first time. And, yeah, like, I had a PSP a long time ago. And then I saw that and I was like, oh my god. Crash Bandicoot on the PSP. And I was like, I gotta get this. This looks awesome. You know, it's like I haven't played that in fucking years, you know? And then we find out it's on PS3 and it's like, oh, okay, cool. And then I start playing it again. And I'm like, going through this like nostalgia trip. And, you know, Spyro the Dragon, I would, if I had to be honest, which is oddly enough, Spyro the Dragon actually gave me more of a nostalgia trip than Crash Bandicoot did for some strange reason. I don't know why. I mostly blame probably, you know, Crash 2 and 3. I mean, this one definitely was really nostalgic, but at the same time, not necessarily. You know, it's... I don't know, like, I played this quite a bit back in the day, but not that much. I guess I mostly played 2 and 3. I mean, I always had a hard time playing this game, and I never really played Tomb Raider when I was a kid. I always thought I did. But no, according to my mother, who actually played Tomb Raider, you know, she was like, no, you never actually did play with your kid, and then, of course, you know, here I am now playing Tomb Raider as an adult and basically beat it, so it's kind of a different take on things, I guess. It always confused me. I always get my past kind of mixed up with different things. I always kind of think I do this or I think I do that, when in reality I don't. It's not that I don't say that because I think that I think that I do. That's why I say that kind of stuff, because I honestly believe that I did. But you know, for the longest time, I thought that Sonic the Hedgehog was my first one because we had a Genesis as well. So I would figure, since Genesis pretty much came, as far as I'm concerned, if it did, if Genesis came before PlayStation 1, you know, my mind is like, well, maybe I played that before I played this. No, I guess apparently I played Crash before I ever played anything else. Like, you know, actually hands-on playing, which is awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong. For a first game, I couldn't pick anything different. I definitely couldn't. I couldn't, you know, change exact. Why am I going here? I wouldn't change it for anything else, I guess. I mean, considering like what we have back then, it's funny because 90s kids do this a lot, and I'm pretty much a 90s kid as well. Of course, I would say the same thing. Basically, we had a lot of good stuff in the 90s, gaming-wise and TV-wise and all that other stuff. But of course, you know, just as any other, kid of any other generation would say. They say that their generation was better and so forth and so forth. But I don't know. I really just enjoy 90s games. I mean, I enjoy games before then, but it's mainly because I was born in the 90s that I kind of just have this infatuation with basically 90s stuff. I fucked up big time there. Oh, that was definitely on me. That was definitely on me. I wasn't being patient enough. I wanted to run through and see if I could make that, and apparently not. Honestly, I don't care about that death because we're not too far. We didn't hit a checkpoint, though, so we're fine. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think we have to get 100% this one. I think we have to go this in one run, which, I mean, that's the thing about Crash Bandicoot that kind of sucks. With the original one, I mean, it's not bad. It's challenging. I like that, but at the same time, it kind of pisses me off, especially when you get so far down, through it, and then all of a sudden, that's when you get screwed at the end, and you're like, well, motherfucker. It's like, it's funny because like Ninja Gaiden for the NES, I guess has actual, like, continues or level selects or something like that. So it's like, if you get to, I heard level 6 or World 6 or whatever from that game. Never played it, by the way. I'm just going off what I've heard, okay? I heard that one is like the most hardest level of them all. It's like 6-1, 6-2, 6-3. It's like World 6 pretty much. I heard it was like one of the hardest worlds pretty much in any game, period. And the thing is with that, you can still continue. I mean, granted, Crash has a better continue system, technically speaking, because of checkpoints and all that other good stuff. You can still beat the game, but if you're going for 100%, that's where it definitely kind of takes a toll on you, too. And it's like, just imagine getting all the way to like World 6 on Ninja Gaiden, and then just getting killed off, but not having it continue. That would be sucky as shit. But then again, the game does have continues, and Crash has continues too, so I'm using this as a really terrible analogy. I need to stop doing that. Now, thing is, what's great about Crash Bandicoot, though, is they kind of give you an obvious... Well, I wouldn't even say obvious. It's kind of out there kind of deal, where they won't necessarily show you where to go, but they'll give you a small little tad bit of a hint of where a secret could possibly be. And, I wish games would do that more often, instead of just being like, well, the secret is completely out of sight and out of mind. I hate that crap. I really do. I almost slipped there, and I thought that was actually a pit. I kind of got scared. If I stop talking for a bit, it's... Oh my god, are you fucking serious? If I stop talking for a bit, it's mostly because I'm getting a little bit nervous, or I'm getting scared. And, well, if I talk too much, I guess it's probably because I'm nervous. I'm trying to just stop being so damn paranoid and nervous of this game, because once we get to fumbling in the dark and Jaws of Darkness, well, Jaws of Darkness is basically just like this. It's not that bad. But once we get to like fumbling in the dark with, actual legit, you have to run from, this side to the other as quickly as possible, just because, the tension. I mean, you think that Boulders is bad for tension? I mean, that's got some pretty good tension on its own, because like I got really worried on, what the fuck was it? Was it Jungle Rollers, or was it... No, not Jungle Rollers. It's Boulders. I think the first Boulders we did. And it was the second time I recorded. The first time I recorded, I did it just fine, just perfectly. But I had a little bit of a mess up, the second time I recording. Well, not recording it personally, but if you guys watched... When you guys watched episode 1, did you notice in Boulders, or whatever it's called, the first boulder level we had, where I kind of got a little bit worried about dying? And that kind of tension is... Just imagine that kind of tension, but 10 times fold. Like, just imagine, like, you're going through fumbling in the dark, and you're at the checkpoint. You're almost there. And then all of a sudden, Aku Aku just, like, he dims out. But the thing is, if you do have memorization, and you do know where certain creatures are located at, you should be fine for the most part. That almost killed me. I'm always scared of jumping, too. Like, Crash always has me fucking worried on my jumping. Oh, I'm choking my own spit. Like, look at this. I'm this close to the ledge. I could have fallen off. That, to me, is fucking terrifying. And that's what scares me the most about playing Crash Bandicoot 1. Is because of these goddamn forsaken, stupid edges. Stupid ledges. I mean, and Crash is stiff. His stiffness, I mean, he's not stiff. It's just more of, like, his jumping is a little bit short-handed compared to, like, the other games, I'd say. Because, like, if you play Crash 2, you'll notice that the game's a little bit more fluid, and I guess I kind of could blame the fact of analog sticks. That probably more likely was what kind of gave it its fluidity. But at the same time, this is Like, on PlayStation 3 Virtual Console, for some reason, I don't know why. I mean, I don't know if I can actually set this or not, but I don't have analog sticks set. I have to use directional buttons for Crash 2, which is not a problem. I mean, Crash 2 is still pretty easy on its own, and I love Crash Bandicoot 2. But I would have to say that, you know, analog sticks would probably make it better, but actually playing it more often now without the analog sticks, I've kind of learned to just get used to it. And even with directional pad, it still feels fluid. It still feels fine, not stiff. But I mostly blame probably Crash's abilities to, like, slide, and of course the level design. That's another thing too. Like, they give you ice levels, but you do feel like you're kind of losing control on the ice. But at the same time, you know, you kind of feel like, you know, when you revert your jump, I mean, even though okay, I'll talk about this in just a second, but like, you still feel like you're in control no matter what you're doing. That's what I'm trying to get at, basically. Now, why is it ice levels in games? Ratchet & Clank does this, and Crash Bandicoot. I don't think Mario did it or not, but I do know that Crash Bandicoot 2, as far as I'm concerned, may have started this bullshit, where it's when you're on ice, when you're platforming on top of ice, and then all of a sudden you jump. But you know how, like, ice pretty much slows you down in, you know, platformer games? Well, it's weird because, from what I've noticed, whenever you're trying to jump while you're on ice, even when you're in midair, you're still slowed down. Like, if I was to stand on ice, you know, right now, and then I was to jump straight across, you know, from one pad to another, or from one part to another, I would land on the part, you know, of the ice, just as if it didn't have any ice on it in the first place. You guys see what I'm getting at here? We're basically, like with Ratchet and Clank, like, your jumping is, you can't, it's weird. I don't know, like, when you're trying to jump in midair, and all of a sudden, you know, you kind of slow down in midair, like, what sense does that make? I mean, then again, it could just be a coding thing. They'd probably like, yeah, fuck it, who cares? But then again, like, I don't know, like, maybe it's because Ratchet or Crash is just trying to be a little more safe on the ice. Like, look at this. I can jump there. That didn't slow my jump down. Even when I'm running uphill, that didn't slow my jump down. Like, my jump is still the same. But with Crash 2 and Ratchet, it'd be something like this, you know, like really small hops. And I don't get why they would do that. Good thing is, we don't have to get the box here, or we don't have to get all the gems here because, well, we need the red gem. Now, one little trick I can give you, there's actually a couple of tricks. When you're jumping, try to hit back. Just hit it once when you're jumping across to kind of be a little bit more safe. If you wanted to, if you just want to cross these platforms like this, I don't recommend it on all of them because there is a point to where you will fall down, and if there's not a platform there for you to grab onto, you will probably more likely die. So, jumping on the rope, as much as I want to recommend it, I kind of don't. I mean, I know you guys want to play it safe and get past this level like I do, but at the same time, you know, like, there's really no point to it, considering the fact that, especially if you're getting the boxes, you know, you kind of want to play it as safe as possible, so you might as well just take the main path and not risk falling off on accident or hitting the directional pad like I would do, and then completely skewering yourself, you know, across the freaking platform and off the fucking ledge. That sucks. I hate that, but that's just what happens, guys. I'm starting to think that maybe embryo tokens are the ones you have to get. No, I mean, you have to get Cortex as well, but I mean, like, the boxes inside of embryos levels, I think those are probably mandatory. This little bastard I hate the most. I hate this little bastard the most because you have to jump on him once and then you gotta jump on him again. And it's like, when you're trying to get that momentum to run, you kind of get screwed up on it if you jump on it and try to jump across like I did there earlier. Thing is, we got to come back with the red gem, but we're not going to come back for a long time. And that's because the red gem is in Slippery Climb, and oh my god. If you guys know anything about Slippery Climb, I'll give you a little bit of a fact. It's kind of funny. Slippery Climb, I guess, was apparently supposed to be an earlier level than what it is naturally. Like, on this game, it takes place in, like, you know, world, 3 or 4. And it takes place on the, you know, 3rd or 4th island or whatever it is. It takes place on the pretty much, I think, the close to the last island, or at least the last island. And pretty much what's funny about that is apparently, from what I've read, it was actually going to be on the first island. as a level on the first island. Do you guys think that's bullshit if that actually happened? Like, what kind of spike? That is one hell of a difficulty spike, if you ask me. I mean, not even just trying to get the gem. Like, if you're just trying to get across, you know, and just beat the level naturally, that's still, you know, one hell of a difficulty spike, in my opinion. But then again, you know, Naughty Dog thought the same thing. They're like, you know, that's a little too difficult, so let's go ahead and put that away. But what surprises me, though, is they thought of Slippery Climb, you know, probably first thing. Well, if not first thing, they definitely thought of it about putting it in the first island, so that's kind of a little fucked up. But then again, this is Naughty Dog, and they definitely like to give you a run for your money, which is something that I do like how they do. Thing is, for the longest time, I always thought that Crash Bandicoot was the first game they actually developed. No, that's not true. I guess Keep the Thief or whatever was the first one. And they had a few other games too, like a fighting game and all this other stuff. Which, you know, I'm sure people are probably like, well, if you're a Crash Bandicoot fan, or if you're a Naughty Dog fan, because like you have all the Naughty Dog games so far, right? You know, like you have all 4 Crash Bandicoots, you have all 4 Uncharted, you have, you know, all 4 Jacks. Which, come to think of it, I need to go get my Jack X fixed because Jack X is broken and it's kind of getting on my nerves. How I can't play that damn game because it's broken. You have Last of Us, you know, you have the original Last of Us. So, if you're such a Naughty Dog fan, what about, you know, like Keep the Thief and all that other stuff? Well, I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck they're on. Like, these, to me, that's like a past of, like, Naughty Dog that I just don't understand, you know? Not fully yet. I mean, would it be nice to have? Yeah, but at the same time, I kind of just enjoy what I have now. God damn it, motherfucker, there's a purple gem here. I knew there was one, just didn't know where it was, and pretty much I kind of wasted my time doing that. Of course I did. Yes, I know. 13, 15, oh my god, 18 boxes. You know, I thought it was like, if you miss a certain amount, they won't can you for that. Well, apparently, I guess the game wants to can me for everything that I do. Oh, god. Sunset Vista. Oh. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the high peak of the game. If you're wondering, you know, how I'm going to get past this one, don't ask, because I don't know. There's probably more likely no way in fuck I'm going to get past this. I don't know, like, you got to kind of believe in yourself. Yeah, you got to believe. You know what I mean? You just got to... You gotta take that in consideration and just make this level your bitch. That's what I say, at least. Thing is, if you kill off those 2 bats, then the other bats won't spawn. So if you're wondering how to get rid of these damn bats, just kill this one first, and then kill the second one, and they'll disappear. The only problem is, like, what's the point of killing the second one, unless you want Ripper Roo, of course. But what's the point of killing the second one if you're already gonna make your way across anyway? If you kill both bats that are spawning the bats at the same time that those you know, the bats that come in the line, if they're coming down, you know, on the line, you see them on the screen, and you kill the second bat, then you will end up killing them all, and they'll drop Wumpa Fruit. So if you wanted to get Wumpa Fruit, there you go. It's funny how I know I brought this up again, but it's funny how I keep saying, like, yeah, it's not really much of an informational Let's Play, even though here I am clearly giving away information. By the way, yeah, look out for that Aku Aku mask there. To be honest, I probably should be a little bit more helpful with my advice, considering the fact that we are doing this 100%, and I'm pretty sure if anybody's watching this to, you know, figure out how to play this game 100%, then, you know, here you go. This part's hard. I still don't know how to get past this. The only way I've ever done it before was like that. I always had that Aku Aku mask on standby, just so I can burn my ass to get across. Now, these blocks here, when you land on that lizard thing and you get across, don't jump on top of the blocks. Because if you jump on top of the blocks, you're probably going to get pushed off, and it's not a good thing. Best advice I can give you for the blocks is wait for all of them to be out at the same time, and that's when they'll all kind of reset and give you the perfect chance to pretty much go across. Again, like I said before, Crash Bandicoot is mostly just timing, if anything. It's really time heavy. That's the thing about it, and especially with Crash 3. Because that's when they introduced relics, and if you want to get the last final gem, which I did not, if you want to get like 101 or 110% or whatever the fuck it is, then you got to get all the platinum relics, and you got to get that last gem, which I didn't know that even existed for the longest time. I didn't know you actually had to get all the platinums in order to get the final, and I think it's like 45th gem or some shit like that. And I'm like, no. Crash 2, on the other hand, you know, is just like, you get all the crystals, you get all the gems, you're pretty much good to go. You know, there's nothing to it besides that. And Crash 1 is the same way. There's no 101%, none of that stupid bullshit, which I honestly hate. Like, I see why, you know, games would do it, but at the same time, it's like with Donkey Kong. It's like 200%, you know, on hard mode. That makes sense, I guess, because that's hard mode, so it's like it's a different game, I guess. Almost. But it's almost like a different playthrough. But the thing is, like, with Donkey Kong Country 1, they have, I think it's 1 or 2, they have like 101, 100-something%. It's like, oh, man, you know, if you're going to include this stuff in the first place, why not have it as 100% already? Why not include it as just the natural 100%? Because 100% means everything. Why is there this weird, odd number of 101%? I mean, more than likely, it's just probably like a joke on like 100% and stuff like that. But still, it really bugs me. Okay, I'm going to wait for that because I don't want to take that chance. I think there's a Tana token in here somewhere. No, there's not. There's a Cortex token. Which means that we're going to have to get a key here. Oh, boy. The thing is, if you wonder what the keys do, they unlock levels. That's all they do. There's like 2 extra levels that you can get. And they are on the main path that you go through, so... Okay, now even though I have all 3 Aku Aku masks on, I'm not going to risk that jump because even if you have, you know, invincibility frames... Oh, fuck. Even if you have iframes on, you still... This is not good. I'll take the box and I'll go. I'll have to get the Cortex token some other time. But basically... Oh, fuck. How did I do this before? I don't even remember myself. Ah, this is scary. Because, see, that pushes that, and then this... Okay, there we go. What was I saying again? Fuck. Oh, yeah, even if I have the Aku Aku mask, even though I got iframes on a full Aku mask, I can still take damage, sort of. Like, I can still get hit, but I don't take damage for it. So it still counts as me getting hurt. But, you know, you don't... Like I said, you don't take damage, which is kind of odd and interesting, but it makes sense. So if you're going to jump on fire... And you notice, like, whenever I jump on top of a fire thing, like, whenever it's burning, I tend to get, you know, an extra jump in there, sort of, like it burns me again and makes me jump once more. Well, that can be a problem if you're going for, like, you know, all the boxes, and then you're on a really good roll, and then all of a sudden, you jump on that one flame, and then bam, you know, you're kind of screwed on that. And then you accidentally fall off, and it's like, well, fuck, there goes all that trouble. Basically, what I'm trying to say is just be careful with everything you do. Unless you're like a master at Crash Bandicoot, like I totally am, then you're fine. Then you're set. You know, I'm basically just showing you guys pretty much all my deaths, if you're wondering what they are. They're pretty much just me showing you guys what would happen if you messed up. Not me. I would never fucking mess up on this game. This game is too easy, and I'm the master of this game. So there's no possible way that I could easily screw up. I say that now, and I'm waiting for a compilation at the end of this. I'm sure someone's going to post a compilation of all my fuck-ups somewhere on YouTube. Be like, this is Turd Monkey's fuck-ups on Crash Bandicoot. And they're going to put that line that I just said. They're going to be like, this is what he said. He said he was a master of this game. Now let's see how much he can prove that. I mean, that's going to make me look bad, but hey, you know, at least I'll get some popularity out of it. I mean, I really don't think that negative popularity is good popularity. I get why people do it, but I think it's stupid. It's like with DSP, you know. It's like I honestly think the guy just does it on purpose, if anything. I really do. Oh, God. Fuck, that almost scared the shit out of me. Well, we're about to find out if Cortex counts or not, which it probably does. I don't know. Yeah, it counts. I missed a box. I missed a box? What the fuck are you talking about, I missed a box? I'm about to go to the next level just so I can... Well, unless I start that over again. If I start over, I have to do it in the next episode. That doesn't really matter. Alright, well, I'm going to continue on anyway. Let's see. I guess we probably should just try to go back and get these boxes. So anyway, folks, without further ado, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time when we play some more Crash Bandicoot for the PlayStation 1. 100%. A Let's Play. So, as always, take care, everybody.